the second chance to take the red pill or the blue pill, do you think you would have changed your mind?
Well, I guess it depends on what happened in that first go-round. Like, if I just realize, oh, I'm just going to be running away from robots for the rest of my life, and there's only like 12 people, and we all wear really terrible, dirty sweaters all the time, then I'd be like, you know what, maybe I'll just go back in.
Yeah.
And it's also, do I have to sell out the rest of humanity to go back in? Then I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing.
If it was like Cypher style. Remember when we would remember characters from these movies?
Yeah, I have no idea who any of these people were.
Tank and Dozer?
Yeah.
In the first movie, they weren't exactly fully fleshed out characters, but I remember them.
But we knew their names.
Yeah. They were actual people.
So many people in this that like had big speaking roles and everything. No idea who they were. No character names.
Really, the last three movies.
Yeah. No, Tank and Dozer.
One of them turned out to be a real big asshole.
I think it was Tank.
Was it?
Or was it Dozer?
I don't know.
I don't either.
You know, like the real person was not happy they were left off the second movie and said a bunch of unkind things, I guess is the nicest way to put it.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, but let's get started because we're not talking about that first movie. We're talking about the fourth one. So welcome everyone to a very special episode of I Love This, You Should Too. My name is Indy Tank Randhawa, and with me is my lovely co-host, it's Samantha Dozer Randhawa.
Woohoo!
Because you love to doze.
I do love to doze. That's my happy state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're talking all about the fourth Matrix movie. If somehow you just got into this, go check out the last three episodes because we were probably happier on the first one.
Yes.
So, Sam, this was your choice to do all of these Matrix movies. We've had a steady decline through the first three. What are your first opinions on part 4, Matrix Resurrections?
I thought it was like 3 hours of nonsense.
Well, to be fair, it was only 2.5 hours of nonsense.
Oh, okay, sorry. I felt like this entire movie was like, you know, when you're like in a pitch meeting and they're like crumpling up Post-it notes.
Do you know when you're in a pitch meeting?
No, but this is just what I'm imagining. And like the bad ones get crumpled up on the floor.
How about this?
Yeah, and it's like, and you stick it up, and then someone goes and like rips all the bad ones down, and then you have a movie.
You know what? I think you're onto something here.
I feel like this movie was all of the ones that got crumpled up on the floor.
My only pushback is I don't think this is the worst one. Do you?
No, it was just nonsense. It was like 75 ideas shoehorned together.
Yeah, and I guess I'm jumping way ahead now because I'm preemptively arguing against people who are going to argue against us.
Right.
But with Matrix movies, they introduce slightly complex ideas to a mainstream audience. And a lot of people who watch just big blockbusters maybe don't get a lot of complex ideas. Mm-hmm. And I know this makes me sound very snobbish, but you know what can you do? I kind of am. So let's just go with it. But the truth is, most movies are pretty simple. A lot of the big budget ones that most people see. Like what's the Nolan movie? DiCaprio, you go into dreams. Inception. So Inception, I actually think, is a good movie. So I'm not saying anything bad about it. So that's why it's a good example. People's minds were blown by that. I had so many people going, have you seen this movie? It's insane. There's like levels. And I go, yeah, movies have levels and they're open to interpretation because we watch movies that are like that.
Yeah.
Most people don't. So when you see one, and I do think Inception was a pretty good movie and well done, it blows people's minds. Mm-hmm. So with these ones, there's a little bit of complexity to it. There's some ambiguity in the first ones. There's no ambiguity in this one, though. So people think that this is brilliant. If you don't like it, you're just too dumb and you don't understand it. So that is the most dismissive argument you can have. Like, well, if you don't like it, you just don't understand it.
Right.
I think the people making this movie don't understand it because they are constantly contradicting themselves. And that is, I don't know if that's the single biggest thing that's wrong with the subsequent matrices, but that's what stands out the most to me. Because if you are in one of these types of movies that is creating a new world and doing a lot of world building and setting up rules, you have to obey your own rules. And these don't at all. And that's what's most frustrating. I'm surprised that diehard fans stay diehard fans because it seems like they are ruining all the things you would have liked.
Right.
So I don't know how you can maintain that fandom through all of them, because if you like something, if you love something and you're like, this is the best part because all of these things mean this, the next movie just comes along and says, yeah, that didn't mean that. Why? Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate don't worry about it movie.
Yes.
How's Agent Smith back? Don't worry about it.
Stop thinking about it so much.
Yeah.
It's like a very much a like, just shut your brain off. Just look at the pretty colors.
It's the ultimate contradiction in that, because it plays itself as this deeply philosophical movie where you have to interpret and think about so much, but it also wants you to not think about anything at all.
Yeah.
It wants you to think about everything on the surface, and then we're just going to tell you the opposite. And they're like, oh, that's a twist. It's not a twist. You're lying. If you say something and then the opposite is true, that's not a twist. That's lying. That's different.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm coming out a little hard on this one because it's the last one. Really, it was part 3, which we did last week. That was the worst. I think there's a lot of redeeming qualities to this. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff to this. And I think there's a lot of nonsense to this as well.
Yeah, that's a good way. Good breakdown.
How would you rank them? We do that at the end, but let's just do it right now.
1, 2, 4, 3, I think.
I think I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about 2 and 4.
That's exactly what I was stuck on. I knew
kind of
3
don't remember.
was kind of the worst one, but 2 still was kind of on the rails for it. And then 3 was just like completely off the rails.
Yeah.
And then this was like, why did we need a 4th movie? But like, I guess they did a pretty good job with it.
I don't know about pretty good job.
They did a job.
They did a job.
They did a job.
And it seemed like a job.
Yes.
Had we watched these backwards, our takes on Matrix 1 would be so different.
Yeah.
Because I was saying like, oh, I don't know if this fight scene is that good. It's better than all of them.
All of them.
That's a surprising thing. You'd think at least the visual effects and the fight choreography, you'd think that would get better as the budgets get bigger. It's so much worse.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about this in like the second and the third about how like CGI coming in to be like kind of the standard thing to do with your action movies. I noticed the bad CGI in this 4th movie more than the other 3 movies combined.
Oh, I would say 3 was the worst for me for that, but I get what you're saying. I think this one had not the worst fight sequences, but so much of this movie was, yeah, that's how those look. Mm-hmm. That's how a fight sequence looks these days. Okay.
Yeah.
There was nothing special?
No, exactly. Which is like the first one, the fight sequences, they were special.
They were.
You could tell that the actors had gone through a lot of training to be able to do some of this stuff. And like, it was very much hard work. Like you're seeing their hard work pay off on screen. Whereas this was like, oh, well, like fix it in the CGI. And there was a lot of flying around. And they had what I now call ribbon arms when they're flying.
I thought that was the worst in part 3. There was big flying fight sequences. This I thought was more grounded for the most part because there was less spectacle in this a lot of the time, but not always.
Yeah.
Well, let's go through things. We're talking kind of roundabout about it all. Maybe we'll just go through the movie, and today is one of those ones, again, where we don't have a distinct plan because this movie is hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Not because it's so confusing. You know what? It is confusing, but
I was confused for most of the movie.
not in the complexity of it, just in the, well, why would that happen?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
And like, what does it even mean? And who are these two guys? And like, it was just, yeah, it was very, we had more characters with like good hair in this one, I guess.
So starting off, much of the first half hour of this movie was talking about The Matrix, not The Matrix, but the Matrix franchise. And it spends a lot of time of people just going, whoa, the Matrix franchise, it's so good, huh? Don't you love the Matrix franchise?
Yeah.
Here's clips from it. That's wild.
It is wild to like just have that on screen. I'm like, is this a review YouTube? Like, what's happening? Like, why are we watching something about the thing that we're watching?
We thought we had seen the extent of fan service with like Marvel movies, but no, Matrix is like, I'm going to show you clips of the first movie.
Yes.
It's the worst job of that since like Happy Gilmore 2 was my other terrible fan service movie that literally played clips of the other movies.
Yeah.
And I tore Happy Gilmore 2 apart for that. And that's a silly comedy. This, I don't know what this is. But it's supposed to be more. It's a movie that takes itself very seriously and just straight up plays clips of the old movies. So you go like, hey, remember this? You liked that, didn't you? Why don't you like it anymore? I mean, come on, like my movie. Look, I'm showing you all the good stuff again.
Yeah, it just didn't. The first half an hour is where I kind of got lost because I was like, why are we doing this?
Which part?
Just the revisiting of the first three movies. I'm like,
the first one? I don't think there's clips of the other one. Oh, maybe there was. Everything I can remember them showing was from the first one.
Yeah.
And I think it's just to get you to be like, hey, remember that one? That was good.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Won't you be my friend again?
Yeah, won't you be my friend again? This just felt like they assumed we all forgot about the Matrix, and they were like, how do we do this creatively? How do we like remind people about the Matrix?
I think it's more, hey, I know we did some garbage, but look at that first movie. That was really cool. Guys, don't you just wish it was 1999 again? It can be. Let's just do it all over again. So much so, I'm going to use scenes from that movie and we're going to recreate them with different actors. Remember when Trinity did this school jump? What about this lady doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Let's just do the same opening sequence again. You liked it before. Why won't you like it now? If you don't like it now, there's something wrong with you. You just don't get it.
It was like slightly worse. It was so strange. It was such a weird choice.
And of course, it's because Thomas Anderson now is a video game developer and has made these movies, or sorry, not movies. Forgive me for thinking they're movies because they literally show them and they are the first movies.
Yes.
But they're video games. I don't know what the gameplay in that game is because it's a scene from a movie. It was just people sitting and talking in a movie. How do you play that?
Yeah.
Those are the best graphics ever. They look entirely real. They look like, especially like these people too. It's just a movie. They didn't even, there's Matrix video games. They could have used those clips and put them in. Yeah,
there was like a huge world Matrix game thing that they shut down eventually. But they must have had graphics from that.
Yeah. But nope, they just showed the movies. And this also spends a lot of time talking about how making a fourth Matrix is a blatant cash grab and I don't want to do it and I'm being forced to do it. It's by Warner Brothers, and then there's a character named Bugs, named after Bugs Bunny, maybe the most famous Warner Brothers creation. And everyone talking about how they loved the old Matrix things and how the fourth one, you know what, we should do a fourth one. But some people are like, no, that's just a cash grab. And the people who want to are like, bullet time, shooting. And people who don't want to are like, well, there's some subtleties you're missing. So this is only one Wachowski. This is just Lana.
Yes.
Did she hate this movie and was forced to do it? Because that's exactly what it seems like. It seems like, okay, I'll put I'm so being forced by Warner Brothers to do this. First, I'm going to say, I'm being forced by Warner Brothers to do this. They will make the movie without me if I don't make this. That's just in the movie. The characters say that.
Yeah.
And then she names the character Bugs. And I think she says, "What's up, Doc?" at one point or something like that.
Something like that. It was like a blatant Warner Brothers reference.
So I think they were going to make the movie because I remember a long time ago there was talks about Michael B. Jordan starting a new Matrix franchise and he was going to be the lead. And then this came out instead. So I think they kept asking the Wachowskis to make another one and they were going to do it without them. So she came along and said, okay, can I just take it? I'm going to be very angry about it. I'm going to try to correct things that I didn't like people saying about my movies in the past. And I'll just tell you specific lines. I'll just directly tell you all the things I didn't like rather than being any bit subtle about it. And I'm going to go and work out some of my own issues in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And I think she hated doing it.
It seemed like it.
It seemed like this is a movie made by someone who did not want to make this movie.
Yeah. But also didn't want anyone else to make this movie.
Yeah.
Which, like, I get. I'm sure they spent a lot of time creating this whole world and everything. Like, you don't want someone else to just, like, step in and take it over. But...
Well, then maybe you should have given it an ending.
Yeah.
You had 7 hours of movie before this to wrap it up, and they never did.
No, they really didn't. It was like, oh, but what if there's another one?
So I did not look into much of the behind the scenes of this. I kind of just didn't care at this point. But what I did know is that they kept approaching the Wachowskis to make movies. They wouldn't do it. And then their parents died and Lana decided to make this and I'm going to resurrect these beloved characters and kind of work through my grief that way. And my first instinct was like, oh, I don't want to like shit all over this movie now because it's someone working through their grief. But then I'm also like, I don't want to watch your therapy for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Go to therapy. Don't work it out here.
Public, in your movie.
Or work it out in a better way, I guess.
Yeah.
And also, is that a healthy thing to do?
No.
Oh, my parents are dead, so I'll just fantasize about bringing things back from the dead?
Yeah, that's creepy.
I don't know. It's weird. Also, this movie seems to be a lot of her yelling at people who interpreted her movie in ways that she didn't like.
Oh.
We'll get into all of that. 'Cause
Okay.
I guess we haven't even really started getting into this movie. Again, this is a terrible conversation, and I apologize. It's all over the place because this movie was all over the place.
Yeah.
So, back to the movie.
I do think that part of the reason that this movie feels so disjointed is that they started filming it in March of 2020.
Oh.
It got shut down, obviously, and then Lana Wachowski wanted to just like scrap it. She's like, I don't really,
because I don't think she wanted to make it in the first place.
I don't think she did. And I think she was contractually obligated and the cast was like, well, we've done this much, like maybe we should continue. But yeah, it's interesting. I think there's like a pre-COVID stuff and like a post-COVID stuff, and I feel like the filming that happened post like everything opening up again it had a different tone, it felt like.
I don't know, because I don't know what was filmed when. I
don't either, but like it just like it felt very disjointed and kind of all over the place.
But I think that's the script though, and that's not changing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It couldn't have helped. But back into the chronology of the movie.
Yes.
So Thomas Anderson, video game guy, created a modal of Morpheus.
Yes.
Which is a kind of an embedded program simulation thing.
Yeah. They've said modal a lot without describing what it was. This
movie introduced all sorts of new terms, and we were just getting used to all of the other ones because all the other three use the same things, and this just has its own. Like the robots, they called them like, there's some other word, sentience or something like that.
Sentinels?
No, they're sentinels, but there's a different word they kept using in this one.
Oh yeah, they were like sentience.
I think sentience.
That sounds right.
So how did Thomas Anderson create this?
I don't know.
He doesn't know he's in the Matrix.
No, he doesn't know. He thinks he's just a video game developer.
And how can he write code for the world he is in?
Yeah.
Also, how is Morpheus an agent at the beginning?
Yeah.
And why don't we ever talk about that?
It never comes up. It just never comes up.
Also, Morpheus was a dude. We already know who Morpheus was. It was Lawrence Fishburne, and he was good.
Yes.
I missed Lawrence Fishburne. I gotta say.
Too.
I really did.
I didn't like New Morpheus.
I didn't either, and I felt bad because I couldn't pinpoint it. But I didn't like him.
I feel like he was giving too much, like he was trying to be like quippy and fun.
Yeah.
He was trying to be very Marvel.
Oh man, there was a bunch of the quippiness.
Yeah.
It was just too quippy.
And it's like Morpheus was stoic and like occasionally had a moment.
He had
of,
like gravitas and power. And this guy was, remember that time when he's like drinking a martini in an open shirt?
Yeah.
What was that about?
What was
That's
happening?
not a Morpheus thing.
No.
But they explained that Thomas Anderson created him combining Agent Smith and Morpheus.
Why?
That is a great question.
Like, why would you do that?
Also, how?
Also, how? But also, why? Let's combine the, like, your favorite guy on your team and the villain from the last 3 movies.
And why would you combine these two very serious men? Does he end up silly?
Yeah. Why did he turn into a Marvel character when you made that happen?
So also, do all of the agents live a full life? And they have apartments and they go to the gym and take showers?
Yeah. That was never a thing.
They're just programs.
Yeah,
Why
and
do
they
need
were
to do
like
that?
spawning all over the place. So like, why would you need to have a whole life?
And was it just this one because he's stuck in a loop? But he's clearly not just in a loop because
No.
he's living a full life and is an agent.
Has an apartment, has a life.
Yeah.
Has a fridge full of food.
He goes and works out.
Yeah.
And why, if it is just a program, why'd you not get Larry Fishburne to do it?
Right? Did he not want to do it?
Do you know the reason why he wasn't in it?
Why?
They never asked him. Never even asked.
What?
Yeah. That's the only things I know, or they never asked him. And they did ask Hugo Weaving, and he said he couldn't make it. And they were like, all right, fine. And they didn't try very hard at that one either.
Why would you not get Morpheus?
I think she hated this movie.
Man. Like, I just don't understand how you make a movie, you bring in all the characters except for like 2?
Maybe the 2 most beloved in a way.
Like, it just doesn't make any sense that, like, okay, we got Neo, we got Trinity, we've got Agent Smith, end of list.
And plus, seems like they built in a reason why they could still have him and he hasn't aged because he's a program.
Yeah.
So you could just have him in there and it'd be fine. But no, we're going to make him look like a different bald guy.
This is so dumb.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know what my favorite part of this movie was? The idea of him being a guy who thinks the Matrix is a delusion he has, and he's going to therapy about that, and he's having like suicidal ideation, he's taking medicine. That was very interesting to me, and that was, I don't know if that was the best acting Keanu's done in this series, but it was when he was most compelling to me.
Yes, I agree.
He has this really stilted performance in this one that I think works better.
Yeah.
Because he is a man who's, on the edge and dealing with mental illness and doesn't know what's real. So his weird kind of alien delivery makes sense for this eccentric genius who is kind of going crazy.
And he's like, yeah, he's suppressing this craziness of the last 3 movies, and the entire world is trying to convince him that, like, everything's fine.
I wish we rode with that idea a lot longer. If most of the first half of the movie is about this guy, Thomas Anderson, and these video games he's made, and him not being able to differentiate reality from this fantasy he has about the Matrix. I wish they went so far that halfway through we start thinking like, oh, were those 3 movies actually just in the mind of this crazy guy?
Was he just losing it?
So we really play the idea of him not knowing what's real, and then parts of his Matrix life start reaching out, and then you start going like, oh wait, is he going crazy, or were those movies actually real? And then we get the reveal later of Doogie Howser is controlling it all. And then that makes more sense, the reveal of him being a villain, because he's been the one trying to suppress all the Matrix stuff, which you do get in this one, but it's not hit as hard. So I wish we spend most of the movie dealing with him trying to figure out what's real. Because that was very interesting to me. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and it felt nice to have a real human reaction to some of this stuff.
And just to have a world where we understand things, even if it's in the Matrix. Okay, we had rules again, while most of the movies are about undoing what we had just learned.
Yes. And this was like, yeah, if I was like teetering on the edge between like being in a simulation and like maybe kind of knowing that there's something else out there that isn't what I'm seeing in front of me, then yeah, I think I would probably be in therapy and like taking meds to like, because I think I'm having like some sort of like psychotic break. And that felt like something real.
Yeah.
In this movie of things that are just like totally unreal and like
reality has no meaning.
Yeah.
And I get that, like, oh yeah, because it's the Matrix. What is real? But you know what? Something has to be real. In a movie, if you want me to care about something, something has to be real.
Yes. And this was a nice little dose of humanity.
Which these movies are very light on.
Because yeah, in the last two movies especially, it's like, no, he's like a superhuman.
Yeah.
He's superhuman. And then all of a sudden we see him back at a desk and it's like, he's reacting like a normal human. This is great.
And this was one of the few times where I actually appreciated the romance between those two.
Yeah.
Because when he's seeing her in the coffee shop and she has these kids and he doesn't want to approach her but is deeply in love with her, that was good too.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it felt like for the first time they actually had chemistry.
Yes.
And this was the most that Carrie-Anne Moss has given in this entire movie franchise.
Agreed.
She was expressive and she was like actually reacting to things and she was smiling. She's really pretty when she's not being dour.
See, the other three movies, she just oscillates between stoic and slightly pained. And those are her only looks.
And this one, she was like an actual human.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am a big fan of that because, oh man, it was a rough ride watching her act as like the second lead.
I'm with you. And I think we are in the minority of that. People talk about how great she is in these movies. And I just didn't see it, I guess. I also didn't buy their relationship. And a lot of people say like, that's the best part of the movies. And
no.
I didn't see it. They just tell you it is. This is the ultimate, you always say in film, show, don't tell. And this is the opposite of that. The love between these two, they just always tell you, oh, they are so in love.
Yeah.
Do you see how in love those two are?
So in love. There's so much love here.
They try to do it by having them, as soon as the door closes, they start making out in part two. But then you're like, they were just sleeping in a bed together the whole way here, but we're playing it like, oh, now they're finally alone.
And like they meet and then all of a sudden they're kissing in the first movie. It's just like, where did this relationship come from?
That's the only way to save someone's life is true love's kiss. That's what we learned.
I do like that we're using like Snow White or Sleeping Beauty as like our how to save a life.
Well, they use Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
They introduced it, so I think it's not a stretch.
But yes, their relationship in this one actually made sense.
So the first half, I kind of liked. At the time, I didn't think it was great, but looking at the rest of the movie, I'm like, okay, the first half was good. The rest it gets worse. Because then we get into the world of the real world. It's been 60 years since the last movie ended.
Did they tell us that?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally missed that part.
That's why Jada Pinkett's all old.
Right. Oh, I forgot about old Jada Pinkett Smith.
Man, I didn't like her.
I did not enjoy this. It was a little too Yoda for me.
It was a little Yoda, but not as fun.
It was like an angry Yoda.
It was a Yoda who didn't want to move her face too much because it might ruin the makeup. But you know what? She didn't make a single facial expression in the other movies either.
No. She was also going to the Trinity School of Acting in the first.
She was stone-faced completely through those ones. And
zero faces.
Kind of the same.
Yeah.
So we learned that it's been 60 years and I don't understand the world now. Even though they just tell you everything, it still doesn't make sense.
No.
So
and they've changed all the lingo.
Yes, that too. So a bunch of people came out of the Matrix after Christ sacrificed himself for their sins, for the sins of those robots. But most people stayed.
Yeah.
And the current humans who are all about liberation and the truth, or at least that was a big part of the first movie, they're like, oh yeah, you all stay. You're sheeple anyway. Which is a real turnaround from what this movie used to be about.
Yeah.
They were freedom fighters.
Yeah.
And now they're like, don't worry about those ones. They wouldn't even like it anyway. So most people stay in the Matrix and humanity is just fine with that they're being enslaved.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like, yeah, you guys just go be over there. Whatever.
And this movie, we'll talk more about it, but I hate how much they do well, you're all slaves to your phone and jobs anyway. Okay, this was written by a 15-year-old who thinks he's deep. You know what most of these movies were? Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, I'm getting angry. I shouldn't be angry at this movie. It didn't do anything wrong to me.
No.
Oh, it kind of stole a couple of my hours.
Yeah.
So most humans are still batteries.
Yes.
So those first three movies, who needs them?
How did he become a battery again?
Oh, well, so he died.
Yes.
And so did Trinity.
Yes.
But then they cloned them.
Oh.
And by clone, they cell by cell made people.
Rebuilt them.
Yeah, they were rebuilt. They're not cloned because they didn't grow. They were rebuilt.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That's kind of gross.
And their love is so strong that it's a better battery than a human. So that's why they're in that special tower.
Where there's only two of them.
Yeah, and they're kept separate, though, because if you brought them together, their power is too strong and they're going to take over.
Whoa.
So their longing is even more powerful. And Doogie, Neil Patrick, I should stop calling him Doogie because nobody knows that anymore because he was Doogie Howser when I was a kid. But now he's known as How I Met Your Mother is bigger than Doogie ever was.
I think of him as Broadway's Neil Patrick Harris, but
NPH, our boy NPH.
Our boy NPH.
He is doing a great job for the robots because he's cutting their bills down. And he's more efficient because he's learned to tap into the longing of these two clones.
Yes.
In pods. And why you wouldn't put them on other opposite parts of the Earth in the Matrix world? I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Because now you know they're going to meet and then this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Why would you make it? Because the Matrix is your creation, NPH. Why would you make it so they go to the same coffee shop every day?
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me.
So that's how they came back. Some robots are pals with the humans, but it seems like they're just pets.
Yeah.
Which is
they had a bunch of pets, little Disney characters hanging around.
Yeah, robot pets. And they made them very pet-like.
Yeah.
So the only robots that came to join humans are as pets, and that's not helping the whole thing of, the robots rebelled because we were using them as pets.
Yeah.
And now we're doing it again? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
They're going to eat you.
You're in for a Matrix situation. Yeah. You're going to get turned into a battery.
Exactly.
But
those robots will get you.
But most of the world is still Machine City, Robot Town, New Roboton.
I think it's just called Human City.
No, that's IO. That's the Human City. But most of the Earth is still New Roboton.
Oh, right. I think it's called Metropolis.
Oh, actually?
I think it is. The Matrix City.
Oh. Yeah. Sometimes they use Machine City, but I like New Roboton.
New Roboton.
So most of the world is still just robots in tubes.
Yeah.
So then why did we do those first three movies? We're just at the same place, but now there's a couple of robot pets? That's what we got from all of that?
We found a friendly robot for
So we had multiple
people.
Resurrections and an apocalypse and a savior. And in the end, we're like, now we got some robot pets. Yeah. And our city is a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
Because now we get strawberries.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all you got after 60 years of like rebuilding society. You got
That's
some
the
strawberries and a dog.
When I'm glad I'm not a huge fan of these movies, because I would feel so cheated.
Yes.
If I was so into all these movies and trying to figure out all the lore, and then at the end of each movie, they say, hey, that last movie didn't matter. We're back where we started.
Just forget it.
And we just keep doing
Yeah.
that. So then when we get our final big climax, oh, so the world's all changed now? Everything's different? Nah, we got a couple robot dogs. That's
I'm
pretty nice. Most of us are
angrier.
still in the Matrix, though.
Yeah.
But the Matrix slightly sunnier, so that's good.
That's fun.
That's all we get after those 3 movies. After all of that.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I'm angrier about the fact that it's been 60 years. I didn't realize that much time had passed. I thought maybe it was like 20 or 30 years.
Well, it's in real life it is.
Yeah.
It's 20.
But it's just like, why did we have to add a weird time thing into this?
Why did we?
Like, it
No
just
reason.
doesn't make any sense.
You have
to
a
me.
built-in thing that it's been 20 years, because it actually has, and everyone's aged 20 years. There you go. That
Yeah.
works just fine. But
Done. Like-
what does making it 60 years do?
Yeah, and also if it had been 20 years, we could have had a whole new set of characters like we did. Like,
Sure.
that's fine. 20 people grow up. People could have just been like babies when the robot swarm happened.
And then if you want to bring anyone back, you don't have to put them in makeup to age them 20 years. They're just 20 years older.
She looked creepy.
She did.
It was some creepy makeup. Yeah, this whole battery thing, and like, it's been 60 years, and Neil Patrick Harris like being in charge of stuff. It just didn't. I got, the farther away from the beginning of the movie we got, the less I started to care.
Yeah. Because there was things to care about in the...
Yeah.
I cared about Thomas Anderson at the beginning. And then after a while, it kind of stopped.
I was just like, oh, we're just doing this again, but with weirder rules and new lingo for the same stuff that, like, I don't want to learn a whole new set of lingo. I did that for the first 3 movies.
Well, if you don't like terrible things from the first movies that are being forced on us again, you're not going to like the Merovingians back. The character that nobody asked for. So you bring that dude back, but not Lawrence Fishburne?
Right?
You kidding me?
That's
Come on.
awful.
This is probably where I turned on the movie. And I had hope, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of interested. And then we get the Merovingian back. Is that even what it is? We make so many fake names for him.
No, it is the Merovingian.
So the Mandalorian's back, and now he has like a crazy beard and stuff because...
Old?
Yeah. Even though, why would he age?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they said something about it, that he's gone crazy or something. But then he has his buddies, all the exiles, and these guys... This is very specific, but if you're in the theater world, you might know. When you're doing publicity stills for a play, everyone's like, oh, my character's a little crazy, so he's going to be going like this. And they just ham it up so big. And I hate publicity stills for theater so much. It makes me very embarrassed to just look at them.
Yeah.
Each one of these characters was just hamming it up so hard. They are like extras from a low budget production of Lion King when they get a chance to go in the audience and they're like, oh, this is my time to shine. I'm a dentist 5 days a week, but right now I'm a monkey and everyone's gonna know it. That's what these guys were like, and I just hated it. I hated it so much.
Yeah.
That sequence was one of my least favorites.
And like what? The Merovingian was mad because he didn't have a reason to live anymore?
You know what? I don't know. He did specifically say, because everyone in this movie just tells you what they're thinking.
Yeah.
And he told me, but I'll just admit I didn't listen. I didn't care.
Yeah. I also was kind of at that point with this movie when the Merovingian showed up. I was like, fuck, this guy now?
This guy
Like,
now.
seriously?
That's who you decide to bring back.
Yeah. Not Lawrence Fishburne.
Not even Agent Smith.
Not
well,
even-
we do.
Actual Agent Smith. Oh, we're going to get to that.
Okay, we hate the Merovingian. Moving on.
Great.
Agent Smith?
Yes.
What? Why?
Jonathan Groff.
I'll say one good thing. I didn't think he was bad at all.
No, I think he did a good job of acting.
He was fine.
I did refer to him as Kristoff from Frozen at one point because it was just like
Kristoff
this is
was
so weird.
fine.
He was fine.
Why and how is Agent Smith back?
I don't know.
You know who also doesn't know? The writers of this movie.
Yes.
They never mentioned it. How can you bring back a main villain who was killed in a big climax, a very stupid climax? He goes like, I went into him and destroyed him because I did. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah. I think Jonathan Groff did a good job with what he was given.
Sure.
I think he did a really good job. I think he had some of the same mannerisms.
You know what? I'll even say the same for Doogie. I thought he was fine. Yeah. I think I might have liked his Smith better than the, not architect, the analyst.
The analyst.
Because you love those names, right?
Oh, God. Let's just like name everybody the something, because that's fun.
Get it? Symbolism. The symbol is he's the thing his name says.
Yeah. It's not symbolism. That's force feeding information on people. Yeah. Why is Smith back? Why does he look like Jonathan Groff now? Why do we care?
And what happens to him at the end?
And like, who's the villain in this movie? Why was there like 75 people trying to kill Neo again?
Because that's all these movies are.
And why isn't it like a steady stream of 75 people trying to kill him for 60 years? Then all at once, everybody just needs to kill Neo right now.
Don't worry about it. Because he's awoken now. He took the blue pill, red pill. He took the red pill.
The Dayquil, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he was on that nighttime stuff for too long.
Yeah, that's actually how I had to remember it from the first movie.
I will now, because I never remembered which one is
Because you take the red pill to wake up, which is the color of Dayquil. And those totally were Dayquil pills in the first movie. And then you take the blue pill for nighttime and you go right to sleep. And
to just be one of those sheeple, man. Yeah. I'm so far above that.
So in this movie, Neo starts taking Dayquil after taking NyQuil for like 60 years, which seems unsafe.
I assume that his Matrix has been rebooted several times.
Right, because they do that every so often just to keep it fresh.
But then when did they rebuild their bodies? Because your body's still aged in the pod. So it must have been recent?
Or maybe
it was 20 years ago, because they've aged about 20 years.
Fourth or the fifth version of their bodies.
Of their bodies, too. That's possible,
Or
I guess.
does that gross goo, like, preserve them?
No, because we see people... Well, I guess we don't know what age he was in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. My question is, when Smith took over everyone in the last movie, don't they all die? Because he killed everyone on Earth, because there was nobody left in the Matrix. He took over every person.
So then when they rebooted the Matrix, did they...
There were no people in it when we saw it rebooted in the last movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know where these people all came from.
So is someone just writing a bunch of code to, like, create people?
Well, you can't write code and create someone in the real world.
Oh. Except for Neo?
Well, they did write code and create someone in the real world.
Yeah. Except for Neo, who created Morpheus?
Well, that too. That's a whole nother. But like the biological battery people,
yes.
Where do they come from? Yeah, how do they reproduce? Are they extracting sperm and eggs and...
Gross.
Yeah.
Like swirling them up in that goo and then a baby grows?
Is there like a hand job robot?
Ew.
Yeah. I have a lot of questions of how this battery system works.
And then they just take...
Or maybe they don't age and they are the same people for hundreds of years? Well, that doesn't make sense because they are still biological beings. They're going to age.
Yeah, and there's like children.
Are there?
There were babies in the first one.
In the pods?
Yeah, because remember they showed like the big, vast view.
No, I don't actually.
Neo sees a baby, I'm pretty sure. So I think you do grow in the pods.
But what if when they started, that baby was a baby and everyone stays the same age?
Oh, maybe. I just assumed that they'd have adults because they...
Is it better
what
batteries?
Am I saying? Yeah. That's their better batteries? Like, what is happening
So the fundamental
to me?
thing at the beginning of all the Matrix movies, that a human body is a good battery. That's, real dumb. But there's so much worse stuff.
Yeah.
That like, okay, human body, best battery. Gotcha. No problem.
Yeah.
We can't use solar because the clouds are too high, even though we fly. Whatever.
Even though we can fly above the clouds because it happens.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm a little upset that I'm like justifying what's happening in this movie.
Another thing that made me very upset, NPH reveals himself to be the villain and he takes off his glasses.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be like, oh, it's you,
oh
the
my
villain.
God.
We don't know who you are.
No.
We never established no, glasses NPH is bad and glasses NPH is good. That's not a disguise. That was so dumb.
The girl going to prom who gets the makeover and takes her glasses
Clark
off.
Kent. And you're not whatever she's all that is. Rachel, I don't know.
Lee Cook?
Rachel Lee Cook?
Yeah.
Oh, I was right, Rachel. Okay, yeah. You're no Rachel Lee Cook, Doogie.
No.
And you're no Clark Kent. But he takes off his glasses and then he can do like double bullet time.
Yeah.
And that was, I thought, very dumb. Let me take it back.
Okay.
It's not a terrible idea because there was like a good little tension building moment where there's a bullet going towards Trinity and we're seeing like, oh, Neo can move faster than everyone, but not as fast as the analyst. So can he get there in time? That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I like that. That's something.
Oh, totally.
And we get to see Neo like realizing things, but he's moving very slow. I think that works. But that's the only time we did anything fun with it. Most of the time, he would freeze time and talk for like 25 minutes.
Yes, there's so many speeches.
God. Speech is about nothing.
About nothing.
Like I said, for the last two movies, this one now gets included. Here's how you make a Matrix movie after the first one. Someone soliloquizes about a philosophy that they read the back cover of one of the books. Right. They don't actually know anything, but they're going to talk about it for a real long time. Then elaborate action sequence. Then a heist sequence that makes no sense, but it's complicated, so you think it's good.
Right.
Why are there so many heists in these movies? But we never talk about them as heist movies.
No.
These are Ocean's movies.
Yeah, they're like, we need to get into here and you need to go over there and these buttons need to be pushed at the same time and like...
So specific and so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. It's silly.
And then NPH is like, oh, isn't it ironic? I'm using bullet time, the thing that defines you, to control you.
He's never...
Shut up.
I didn't like...
Your little quippy Marvel chuckles are dumb.
Yes.
Second, I get that this is all fan service, but you just saying bullet, the amount of times they say bullet time made me retroactively like the first movie less.
So the thing that I didn't like about them talking about bullet time in the movie was that bullet time is like a filming term that was created from the first movie.
Yeah, but they're talking about the first movies as a franchise and how they're being forced to make a fourth one, but nobody wants to. So we're beyond meta at this point.
Yes.
We're beyond self-referential. You know, what is your very least favorite thing that I say when I watch one of your movies?
Is this a parody?
Can you tell us again while not yawning?
Sorry. Is this a parody?
Is this a parody?
This movie?
Yeah.
It kind of seems like it.
It kind of seems like Lana is like, well, screw you guys then. I'm going to just make a junk movie that tears apart what the first ones did.
Yeah.
Had I not seen the third one, which also does the same,
yes,
maybe I'd think that.
So can we talk about like magical unicorn force time? So Priyanka Chopra is in this.
Oh, Sati? Is that her name? Sure.
And she has like the same hair from the first movie.
Yeah, that's how you can tell she's the same person. So wait, programs age?
Yeah, right?
Oh, well, I guess she was a baby, and she got to be a kid because she was a program, 2 programs. I think we said it was a...
it was an unauthorized program.
A thermostat and a word processor had a child, and it was Sati.
I think it was a refrigerator
sure.
and a thermostat, but yeah. Yes, so there's a part of this movie that looks like it's in a completely different movie where they're all looking... Is it a well? They're all looking into a well at some point?
I'll be honest, I don't know what you're talking about.
And it's like very bright and colorful. It looks nothing like the rest of the movie.
Well, Sati, I think, invented the sun.
Sure, yeah.
No, actually. I know it's nonsense, but I think it is the nonsense of the movie because the Matrix was always all gloomy and green or sometimes blue. And then at the end of 3, Sati has a sunrise, and she said, I made it for Neo.
Right.
So I think she can make sunshine.
Yeah.
I think she's a sunshine program.
Okay, cool.
It makes as much sense as anything.
So they're all looking into a well. Somehow Jada Pinkett Smith is there too. I just like didn't understand what was happening. It was like Neo television that they were watching, I think.
I actually don't know what this is.
And I just like, I don't know. It was just so nonsense. It was so nonsense. And it was nothing like the rest of the movie.
Written down, I have, whoever wrote the code for agents spent too much time on sunglasses and not enough time on shooting skills.
Yeah.
Because I think roughly 7 million bullets are fired in this movie, and I don't think one human gets shot. While in Matrix 1, Cypher betrays them, and I think like 2 of our main cast, names I remember, are killed.
Yes.
Nobody dies in this.
So
does anyone get shot?
Only time people get shot are when the good guys are shooting.
Yeah, because I think
during
agents
the car chase
get shot.
Agents get shot, and like he turns on swarm.
Oh yeah.
And PH turns on the swarm mode.
Yeah.
And people are just like jumping out of their apartments onto cars and stuff, and like trying to crawl up on their vehicle while they're driving it. And that's the only time that people actually get shot.
Yeah, and I think maybe Smith gets shot.
I think so. But already, generally, no.
Death doesn't matter.
No.
For humans, because they can just rebuild humans.
Yeah.
But still, they don't have any one of those characters die?
Yeah.
Or even get shot?
Statistically, if you fire 7 million bullets, I'm going to say like 500,000 people are going to get hit with bullets.
How often they're 5 feet away from someone,
pointing
looking directly at them, that they can't shoot them?
Too.
And they're running down a straight hallway, and they just can't hit them.
Or even when they're just standing still and they're just like moving it back and forth. I'm like, yeah, you're spraying bullets. You're going to cover a really large spot, and like someone's going to get real dead.
I know we're jumping all over the place, but when they get back to the real world, Jada Pinkett doesn't trust Neo, despite the fact that he is a literal resurrected god that she witnessed save the world.
Yes.
She saw this man has superpowers and saved the world, including my life and all of my friends and family's lives.
Countless other people's lives.
And then she doesn't want to free him. When he does get freed, she tries to lock him up in a prison. Mm-hmm. But this movie, what it loves to do is give you stakes, and then I'm like, yeah, just kidding. Those stakes weren't anything. Because she locks him up, but it has a balcony, and people can fly, so he's in there for about 30 seconds, and then they break him out.
Yeah.
So what was the point of any of that?
Nothing.
Like most parts of this movie. Yeah. No, nothing.
That was just like one of the bigger Post-its that was crumpled up on the floor.
Yeah. What about a prison? Oh, what about a prison break? Even better. Let's do them both right away.
We'll just do them together. These 2 Post-its seem to go together. Great.
So people see someone else when they look at Neo. Remember like how his reflection is always someone else?
He's like an old dude.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know.
Does this pay off in any way?
No. And it was kind of annoying that Trinity at one point is like, did you base Neo off of you in your video game? It's like, obviously.
So at first I was like, well, clearly that's the same guy because the video game is footage of this man.
Yeah. It's just all this man.
Trinity doesn't look different, does she?
There is a clip where we see a reflection of her and she is just like another lady.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, I knew that it was for Neo.
Just like when we saw the split second kind of reflection of Neo, and he was just like an old dude.
Yeah.
There was that when he meets Tiffy or whatever her name is.
Tiffany.
Tiffany
is a name. Tiffy, I don't believe is. Old Tiffy. I didn't realize that for her. Okay, so cool. I don't know.
I think
don't
they're
think
showing that like they're the same. I don't know.
Okay, but it doesn't pay off or do anything, right?
No.
Okay.
No, it never comes up.
Yeah, a bunch of things are like, oh, that's kind of cool. Why? Don't worry about it.
They're like, everyone is 60 years older.
Except for some people who aren't.
And then it doesn't matter. Never comes up.
Sati, the programs age slower, I guess?
I guess so, because
she didn't age 60 years.
Definitely not 60. I think she may be aged like 10.
You think she's like 16?
20, maybe? 15?
You think she's 20?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know.
She's older than 16 is all I'm saying.
Yes.
So maybe she aged like Neo and Trinity.
Yeah.
The 20-ish years.
Okay, yeah.
But a bunch of people age 60 years. A bunch of people don't age. Some people age 20 years.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Just muddy up the timeline here.
So then we get another terrible heist movie setup because that is the rotation. And she has, I think it's Bugs. Bugs has one of these speeches of... So Bugs has one of these speeches where she goes, all I have to do is blank, blank, blank. And it's like this big elaborate list. And she goes, you must be crazy. These heist movie bits bother me more than they should.
I agree.
They're lazy and they're poorly done. But they love to do them. So then they have this unnecessary elaborate heist. They find a way for her to get in. First they say, well, we got Neo out, but we could never get Trinity out. She's literally next to him. She's like 5 feet away.
Do the same thing over again.
You'd think.
It worked the first time.
But they make a specific point of saying like, oh, we could never do that though. That's too much. But you know what? They do it. And she gets in, and then within 30 seconds, 2 other people show up. So it was so hard for her to get in.
Yeah.
But then everyone else was like, oh, yeah, we're here too.
Yeah. Also, Trinity adjusts to being back in the Matrix like instantly. It takes Neo the first 3/4 of this movie to do that.
And he still doesn't get his powers back.
Trinity's like, I'm Tiffany. I have kids. That's Neo. Great. Let's go. I'm magic.
Yeah. Yes. I think that was her line.
Yeah, that was the exact line.
And then back in that heist, Morpheus is a bunch of floating robots, but he's scared of falling off stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa, and jumping across. He's flying robots.
Yeah.
What is he going to do? Fall? And then Sati is there too?
Yeah. Always.
Because now all programs can come in many different forms to the real world.
This is dumb.
Yeah, it is. All right, I don't even know where we are in the movie, but let's talk about that big fight you were talking about. So first, Smith kills the analyst.
Yeah.
So we think.
Oh, at the beginning of this fight, the entire FBI is just standing quietly in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
That's like so dumb.
Why don't the people of that world think that's weird?
Yes.
They are people. They are humans.
Just like going about their business.
Yeah.
So the entire FBI in like full tactical gear with guns like ready are just hanging out in a coffee shop.
And everyone's like, oh, cool. They just come in and like, oh, SWAT teams? All right.
Okay,
no big deal.
I'll take an espresso.
But Smith kills the analyst. Later he comes back because of course he does. And then Smith lets them go and they leave. And then Smith takes over everyone to kill them.
Yes.
What does Smith want?
I don't know. And I don't know why for like 40 seconds of this movie he was on Neo's side.
Yeah.
Like I just don't get
I don't get why Smith is here. I don't get how he is here. I don't get what he wants. I don't get why he looks different. And none of it's addressed at all.
Nope. No, it's just like, yeah, just move along. Just he's grumpy and angry and he has fewer teeth in this movie, which I liked.
Yeah.
But it was just like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. He's bad. End of explanation.
You know what else is weird? How earlier in the movie, Tiffany says like, yeah, I want to break my husband's fucking jaw. Whoa. I feel bad. You've been married to this guy for years.
I feel bad for this guy.
There's a bunch of stuff in this movie that I want to say, and I want everyone to look at the other movies I've picked, all the feminist classics I've exposed Samantha to, that I go, this is an important movie. Because this movie, if I just talk about things, it sounds like I'm like one of those, like a real Reddit douchebag.
Right.
Because there's a lot of this movie where, well, first, if a big part of your movie was... There's a man who has a wife and kids and is like, oh, I fucking hate her. I wish I could kick her in the face. You'd be like, okay, well, this is a villain.
Yeah,
that is a villainous
clearly a
thing
villain.
to do.
Yes.
And then he says something which we are led to believe, like, oh, he's a controlling husband, so it's fine that he dies?
Right? I didn't like that.
Too.
He's like jealous because all of a sudden his wife only has eyes for this guy at this coffee shop.
For this creepy old man who was talking to his kids the first time he met him.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, we need to leave. Like, this is weird.
This weirdo?
All of this is weird and you're acting weird.
There's
and
also a SWAT team here. I think we should
just
leave.
Like hanging out. I don't know that he's necessarily in the wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that Trinity is having like a lobotomy moment where she is like changing her personality completely.
And then he says like, yeah, let's go, Tiffany. And she goes, I hate that name. And now attacks him?
Yeah.
Because he called her by her name. Mm-hmm. And then this is jumping forward too, but this also is like, well, you know that Neo's the one, but what about a lady? Girl boss one.
Yeah.
And she can just do everything now.
Now
and Neo can't
she's
fly.
the one.
Which, if we had stuff that worked with that, that could be fun. Or if it was the reveal that, like, you know what? She was the one this whole time. Like, I think Harry Potter would be better if the reveal was that Neville was the chosen one.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And I like that. That's more fun than the guy who we're always saying, hey, you're special. Hey, you're so special. You're the best ever. And then it turns out they're special and the best ever.
Yeah.
This was one of those. And if it turns out it was actually Trinity and she was always there, and that's what we were attributing to Neo, and then you get a little fun commentary maybe about how women who are doing the work and then men are getting the credit for it, that could be fun.
Yeah.
But no, this is just, hey, remember how Neo's Superman? Trinity's better.
Yeah.
How? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. She just like, she can fly now too.
Hashtag girl boss.
Yeah.
Hashtag fly girl.
Hashtag girl program.
Is she a program?
I don't know. I don't know who's a program and who's not.
And maybe someone's going to do a reading into pre and post transition Wachowski and the hero and powerful one going from male to female. Maybe there's something there. I'm not going to worry about it too much because there's too much nonsense that I have to get through first. But the worst part of that, the worst part of female representation is at the end when they have a Rage Against the Machine cover band with a woman singing.
Yes.
And not that like, hey, women shouldn't sing, but that you had something that you liked, but you're like, well, what about if a lady did it?
Yeah.
And in this case, objectively worse because it's Rage Against the Machine. It's already like
it's a thing.
It's already something.
Yeah.
You know what you could use? A female singer who has her own music.
Like maybe a similar sound.
That
or
exists.
Like, yeah. It did not
Doesn't need to be a
that
cover band.
exact song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I did like in the big sequence that I said we were going to talk about, never got to, when people are jumping out of the windows.
Oh, yes. When
That was kinda cool.
people watch their loved ones die and then are in an active war zone.
The actual stuff on the ground was completely inconsequential because we know like nobody can die and nobody can get shot.
Yes.
So like, what do I care?
What's the point?
All of these things are just faceless robots. So
Yeah.
I don't care about any of it.
No.
But when they were jumping out of the windows, that looked pretty fun.
Yeah.
That was a good idea. But what I don't get is when they splat on the ground, green code would shoot out.
Yeah.
I think these filmmakers still never understood what code is. I think they think it's like a cell. Like if you look close enough to a person, you'd see that they're made of cells.
Right.
I think they think if you look close enough at like a robot or a video game, you'd be like, oh, I can see all the little ones and zeros in there.
Right.
That's not how
That's
code
not how
works.
this works.
So somebody, the analyst, I guess, had to write code that the blood of these people looks like the code I am writing.
Yeah.
They had to code the code.
They coded a code to look like code.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's dumb.
Coding a code to look like code is a new level of ridiculousness.
I have notes about the numerous references to people being too on their screens and that we don't want freedom is trite and obvious.
But
Well
how
said,
could we
Indy.
want something if there's no choice?
Choice is an illusion. But you know what? The only thing that separates us is choice. But also there's no choice. How are both of those true, you say?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, great. Just stop thinking about it. I think I'm pretty much done on this one. Just nonsense.
Yeah, I think I am too. I was disappointed. I don't think this is the worst of the movies, but it was definitely a disappointing movie. With the first movie, it can be like a little confusing, but you understand all of the basic rules that are in place. And then the more you watch it or the more you think about it, the more you understand the points and there's some subtlety to it. And then with the next three movies, even when they do make sense, it's because people are telling you the plot. And then the more you watch it, the less they make sense. And the more you realize that it's a bunch of contradictions and, like you said, a bunch of nonsense. All of the movies touch on things, but you never really know what their opinion or what they want you to take away from that thing is. It's just like, free will. Okay, what about it? It's good, except when it's not. They don't really tell you anything. They talk about fatalism, they talk about free will, but they don't take a stance. In this one, they're constantly talking about the role of the Matrix, and they're making fun of people who are reducing it to just like bullet time. Or are they celebrating those people? I don't know.
We don't know.
They're just saying like, hey, look, people love the Matrix. Do you love the Matrix? That's great. Here's some Matrix. Without actually taking a stance or saying anything. It doesn't have to be concrete, but you have to have a take. You have to have an opinion. And I think all of the movies after the first one suffer from that. But this one specifically suffers a lot from like the burden of interpretation, because I think people used the term red pill. A bunch of jerks started using terms from the movie. I don't think they were really interpreting too much. They just kind of caught on to buzzwords like people in this movie do. And because of that, I feel like Lana Wachowski had to say, okay, I'm going to set the record straight for all of those right-wing people who are using red pill to mean certain things. And in doing so, she kind of just created a bigger problem. Because in this movie, they say very explicitly, like, hey, the Matrix movies or video games were a metaphor for all sorts of things, all sorts of systems that keep us down. It can be capitalism, it can be expected family dynamics, or it can be this actual Matrix system. And that was something that we all knew watching the first Matrix, but nobody said, hey, this is a symbolism for this. We just saw it on the screen. And it's not like it was real subtle. It was all very clearly there. The Matrix is symbolic of all sorts of systems put in place to keep us in our designated roles that someone who is more powerful wants us to be and can benefit from it. And you can take that to mean all sorts of things. You can take it to mean gender roles. You can take it to be a takedown of capitalism. All of that works, and it isn't about one specific thing. It is about systems like that. And that makes sense. But here, they just tell you. They have people who I think are meant to be idiots or like the bad part of the business. And they just say, like, the Matrix is all of these things. And we're like, yeah, I know. I watched it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm watching it again right now on the screen behind you because you're showing me that movie that was so much better. And by comparing this movie to that movie, having it on screen, it doesn't fill me with good feelings of, oh yeah, those were good times. Now I love this movie. It reminds me that this movie I am watching is worse and I'd rather be watching that other one. They try to do so much in this one. They try to take into account all of the different interpretations that other people have, some of which could be problematic, and then set the record straight by saying, I don't believe in all of that stuff. Look, now it's a female hero and it's female Rage Against the Machine. And there's so many better ways you could be making that point. It's lazy, it's clunky. The first movie, Neo opens a book, and I mentioned it a bit on that one. Is it Simulation and Simulacra or Simulacra and Simulation? But it's Jean Baudrillard is who wrote it. And in that book, he also talks about something called the Desert of the Real. And the Desert of the Real is when everything is a simulacra, a copy without the original, a copy that has been copied so many times that we're distanced from what it actually meant. And in the first movie, that's like, yeah, the Matrix is a representation of the real world, but not it. But this movie and the subsequent 3 movies were doing that to the first movie. We are getting so far away from what the first one was talking about. We're saying something and contradicting it, and now we're on to our, 4th resurrection of Neo at this point?
Yeah.
Everything is simulacra. Everything is a copy of a copy of a copy. And I don't think it is the movie making a point. The movie is becoming the thing that it was warning us about in the first movie. The 4th movie is what the first movie was talking about. These representations and simulations without any meaning. And now the Desert of the Real, that was this way Morpheus was going to describe the machine world where there were no humans left and it was just all of these machines and there can't be any human meaning to anything. This movie especially, is that. There is so little humanity because people can't die. Nothing has any meaning because there's no consequences if you find out a true secret of this world through all of the lore of the other movies. 20 minutes later, we're going to find out it was not real. And then if you achieve something, someone will just go like, I wanted you to do that the whole time. So nothing has any meaning. And the first movie warned us about the desert of the real, and now the fourth movie isn't. Mm-hmm. And I am out on these movies. I hear they're making a fifth one, and I don't want to see it.
They are making a fifth one.
No Wachowski's in that one.
Just an executive producer credit. I don't think we need a fifth one.
Yeah.
This one wasn't even really financially that successful, so...
But that's also when it came out.
I guess that is also COVID, but...
Because they went directly to HBO Max or something. And you had to buy it from HBO. And getting someone to spend $20 to buy something to watch on their TV is a hard sell.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially when you gave us 2 garbage movies already.
Yeah, it's garbage.
That first movie seems pretty good now, huh?
Oh,
we were too hard on the first one.
Like a epic film for the ages.
It really was. Well, we're not done somehow. Join us again next week.
Oh my god, I totally forgot we have another one to do.
When we talk about The Animatrix.
Hopefully this is better.
I remember parts of it being very good.
Okay, well, fingers crossed. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.